What's up, y'all? It's another Creator Dive video where we talk health, wealth, and success for the hustlers, movers, and shakers. I am Chris Haywood, and today I am Chris Haywood. I work in real estate and I own a video production company. And today we are talking about the personality myth and how to build your personality for what you want in life. So there's like a famous prayer. It's not in the Bible, but people say it all the time. It's called a serenity prayer. And a serenity prayer is like, God, grant me the serenity to accept things that I cannot change, the courage to change things that I can, and courage to change things that I can, and wisdom to know the difference. There we go. And it's popular because it's short and sweet, but it's about like your circle of control and what you have control over, and acceptance on things that you don't. So when we talk in personality, this is something that I feel real passionate about, and I'm a real big psychology nerd. And there's a lot of people out here who think that your personality is fixed. And I'm here to tell you, and based on some of the information I'm gonna go over today, that really your personality may be something that may be under your control. What's up, y'all? Welcome to another Creator Dive video where we talk health, wealth, and success for the hustlers, movers, and shakers. I am Chris Haywood. I work in real estate and I own a video production company. And today we are talking about the personality myth and how to build your personality. You know, the personality, like I said, I'm a big personality psychology nerd. And what I mean by that is I've taken almost any personality test that you can think of. I've taken the Big Five. I've taken the DISC assessment. I've taken the Myers-Briggs. I've taken the True Colors assessment. So no matter what kind of assessment you're talking about, I've taken it. And the reason why I'm such a advocate of those, or why I kind of really love them, is because I felt it gives me information to better understand myself. It's hard to really know yourself sometimes because you're like a fish in water and you don't know what you don't know. But sometimes these personality tests provide an outside in perspective that we can really learn from, and they bring insights and they tell us how patterns in our behavior correlate, and they'll give those things meaning. And if we can define some of these patterns, and how I like to use personality tests is to then make decisions based on that. If I know I'm kind of wired a certain way, then I can try to align my life with those opportunities. And if I know I'm bad on certain things, then I can also try to avoid or work on other things. But over time, I've come to realize that I've switched majors many times. I've switched businesses multiple times. And now I'm at a new place where I feel like, my personality is adaptable. And upon further research, I found my hypothesis on this was true. So let's get into a little bit of science with this. So there's a Columbia faculty. His name was Walter Mischel. He was a professor at Columbia University, and he wrote a book called Personality and Assessment in 1968, which has kind of been glanced over. But he also did a famous test that a lot of people know about, and it's called the marshmallow test. And the marshmallow test was supposedly measuring personality and delayed gratification. The test went like this. They would set a kid down, young, under 10, under 7, I would believe, and they told them, they put a marshmallow in front of them, not a mushroom. They put a marshmallow in front of them and they told him, if you can sit here for a certain amount of time and not eat the mushroom, you will then get another mushroom. And so the popularity of this kind of spread, and the general notion that came from the study is the students who were able to withstand eating the marshmallow and got the second marshmallow translated to higher delayed gratification, and those students wind up doing better in school, in life, etc. And so the whole notion that came from this study was that delayed gratification is a virtue, and that if you could show that, then that shows that you will be more successful in life. The main takeaway that the mainstream got is not exactly what Walter Mischel wanted to get across. So what it really kind of began to say is there were not consistencies in personality over time and in all situations. There were not consistency in personality across all ages and situations. So what that means is they find that your behavior was your personality was highly based on the situation you were around and the circumstances. So this was really the point of the study. And it showed that really our personality is actually changeable. It's adaptable based on the situation. We kind of know this. We know there's some kids out there who may be acting bad at school, but then when they get home in front of grandmama, they are a perfect angel. And so there are not consistency in personality, Walter Mischel argued, as much as there was consistency in environments, because our home, our school, our family, our culture tends to show up the same way, thereby dictating that behavior is also consistent because the things around us in our life are usually consistent. Now, this is very interesting because we grow up thinking that personality is fixed and you are who you are. But what the research actually shows is that our personality is actually based on some things that are very much in your control. Therefore, if we take the creator die mindset with that, then we can potentially make some alterations to ourselves so that we can have a personality that flows with what we really want in life. So the number one takeaway is what they found is environments help create our personality. And when you really think about this, this makes a lot of sense. Lee Ross, a professor at Stanford University, said that consistent personality is really a mirage. And what we really see is our houses, our routines are actually tend to remain the same over time, allowing us to show up in the world the same over time. I grew up with the same friends. When I moved high schools in 10th grade, it was hard for me because, with my friends that I grew up around, I was a certain way. I was much more active. I was much more vocal. I was much more courageous in terms of playing sports, talking to girls that I thought I liked, and even taking more aggressive classes and AP and pre-AP classes when I was with my friends. However, when I left that environment and when I went around uncertainty and in a new school, I actually lost confidence and I didn't take harder classes. I kind of rejected from school and kind of withdrew. I joined the work program and went to school and left around lunchtime to go to work. And so my personality diametrically changed from when I left my friends at one high school and went to a new high school. Now, people at my high school where I graduated would probably say my personality is totally different from the people who knew me growing up and it got to experience how I was when I left in 9th grade, because I was different. I was, so that all to show you is that environment is very important in shaping your environment. And we knew that growing up. We learned to cope and we learned to go through things and get through things based on that thing always being there. And because those circumstances always being there, we had to learn how to proceed in life despite those environmental factors. What does this mean? To me, this means that as creators of our life, we have the power to create, as we get older, our own environments, how we structure our house, how we structure our day, the things we have in our arm's reach around us, the things that we don't, books around us, things we have on TV. All these things are our environment, our friends, our family, our peers. This shapes our environment. And it's hard, it's really, really hard to outperform your environment. So as a creator die person, you have to know that your environment affects your personality. And if we want to be successful, we have to be careful how we construct that. The next thing that I found is skill and competency affects our personality. I'm about to be in my 4th year of real estate. And the things that I've been able to accomplish in real estate is beautiful because I, coming into real estate, really didn't have an extensive background in sales. I knew I was good with people. Now, I did do personal training, but I never really considered that high stakes sales. And so I really had to really bring something out of me in order to kind of be successful in this sales realm. Had to learn to get pushy. I had to learn how to, handle objections and things like that. And so what we come to find is if you know how to do something, if you're competent in how to do something, then you can then proceed to add that to your personality. Because it's hard to be something if you can't do something. And all that means is if you know how to talk to people, then it makes it easier to be social. It makes it easier to be outgoing and approachable. These are qualities somebody will say is in your personality, but if you know how to do it, whether it came naturally to you or if you read the skills in a book and applied them, it still doesn't matter. You can still say that's a part of your personality, whether you willfully do it or whether it comes naturally. It doesn't really matter. So when I came into real estate, I had to learn how to face rejection. I had to learn how to hear no. I had to learn how to people be disappointed in my offer in real estate because it's not where they want it. And I had to learn how to redirect the conversation. I had to learn how to be firm. I had to learn the process that my brokerage taught me, how to talk to the people and connect with them and then divert them to what I want them to do. 3 years later, probably over, several deals done, many people will say that it's natural for me to sell. But the truth is, I've been trained to sell. I've been skilled and willed into learning how to do it. And when you learn how to do something over time and with practice, it becomes easier and it becomes more natural for you to do that. Even with women, on my journey of learning more about masculine and feminine essences, I've learned that what women are looking for from a man, is to be a calm, soothing presence, to be a leader in those situations. But those things take tact and it takes skill in order to do those in a situation sometimes. Because sometimes in those relationships, those situations become heated. And so through research and through trial and error and through reading, I've got a lot better with handling situations and trying to remain calm in a situation where I really want to cuss somebody out, when I really want to raise my voice. And I'm not perfect with it, but I've got so much better with taking ownership of those hard conversations with a woman and to say, you know what, this is what we need to do, and taking ownership of the part and the fault that I had, because I know that's what is expected of me. But I also have taken the time to learn skills to be able to do that. So it's gotten to the point where I've heard many times where women say, I really felt calm around your presence, or I really felt like open and that I could just be myself. And that's a compliment to me, because I know I had to work on those things. I had to become skillful in those things that it really didn't become natural to me until later on when I had those skills. All right, so the last thing that affects our personality is mind and mindset. And this makes a lot of sense, because how you frame something, how you frame a situation affects your personality. And that's really what makes us human. Free will, to be able to label a situation good, bad, positive, negative. You really wake up every day and you make your weather in your head, and you tell yourself whether it's going to be a good day, whether a bad situation happened, is that really bad, or is that growth? You get to label what is resistance. You get to label what's a problem, what's just regular life, and what is a superior challenge to you. And so through our mindset, we're able to establish our mental capacity of what we can handle and what we cannot handle. So we are ultimately limited or expanded about what we think we are, and most importantly, what we think we are not. And you don't even have to accept that you are something great, but it is important, I feel like, for you to accept that you are able to build your life. And that's what's so important about the create or die. I'm not saying you're good at what you need to be good at right now, but as a creator of your life, you can be. I didn't start out very good in real estate or video. People say I got the eye now, but really, I've been putting in that work. I've been putting in those skills, and I've been learning my mindset and tweaking that I can be better mentally and have the mental capacity to be what I need it to be. So really, thinking that we are not fixed, that we are not just an introvert extrovert, that we are just a Gemini, 10th house, INTJ, gold, true colors. I know what my personality says, but really the real key of it all is being able to say, I can be what I need to be when I want to be. This is true game, because just the experience of me being with my daughter, I understand that there are certain times I don't need to show up as businessman Chris. And sometimes I gotta show up in a way that nobody has ever seen me. I gotta be silly. I gotta be loving. I gotta be soft to my daughter. I have to be patient. I have to be something that many people have not seen. In many ways, I have not brought that out of myself until I willed myself to be that. I had to will myself to do it. That's what makes us different than the animal kingdom. I found knowledge of self in 2011, 2012. And I got into, African history, Black history, and it was a beautiful experience to learn about my culture and everything. And, ultimately it will always lead to Kemet and Egypt and some of the things that were going on over there. And one of the famous things that you'll see in Kemet and some of the statues is you'll see things like the Sphinx. And the Sphinx is an animal, a lion body, but with a human head on the top. The lower half of the statue is indicating the animal nature, the desire, the ego, the things in you that want to be and do based on the physical world. These things are not good or bad. They have their place. but the animal nature is a lower frequency. And the things that they experience, the animal nature of a human being, is a lower vibration. So in Kemet in ancient Egypt, the head being positioned on top of the statue show a mastery and a conquering of human nature. Of animal nature, because the human head is on top of the lion, saying, I've tamed my desire and to be impulsive. I am in control. My mind, the divine man in me, is in control of my animalistic nature that makes me want to lie when it's beneficial, to steal if it's beneficial, to treat people bad when it's beneficial. My animal nature is in check to be what I will it to be. People over there thinking that those symbols are, demonic and all kind of stuff. Whole time is teaching you some real shit that really, by getting in the right state of mind, you can be the master of your universe by conquering your animalistic nature and showing up on your square and being a person of value, discipline, and spirituality. We talked about a lot, man. We talked about a lot. We know that based on the research, we know that our personality is actually based on environmental factors. It's based on our competency and our skill, and it's based on our mindset. And knowing this information, we know that we can construct the things we put in our mind, the environment that we set, and the skills that we acquire. We can build those things and things that we want to be, and that we aren't just a fixed person, a tree that can only be a tree. We are not that. We can be whatever we want, and we share in the co-creation process with the divine, with the Almighty. And this is important because if you don't like your life right now, you don't have to continue that way. If you don't like what you are, you can always make a change because you share in the co-creation ability to be whatever you want to be, man. And so whatever you're not getting out of life, you first gonna have to start changing your mind and your mindset and ultimately your behavior in order to really get what you want. And I don't want you to think that your personality is something fixed and that you just don't have what it takes. You do have what it takes, but the first step is to having that knowledge of self and understanding that you can be what you say you want to be. You just got to be willing to do the work, to learn the skills, to be knowledgeable and skillful in what you say you want to be. All right, y'all, man, it's been a long video, but I had to just get this off my chest, man. I hope y'all learned something. Be sure to like and subscribe this message. And yeah, man, we'll see y'all next time. Peace.